let's kick things off with like a quick introduction to more people in the room beyond the usual like work details of what your job and company is. So we're gonna have everyone quickly go into breakout rooms, and you're gonna share a one-liner about yourself, but you're gonna include 2 to 3 things you wouldn't typically say in an introduction. So think of it as an opportunity to reveal something unique about yourself, something that showcases your personality or quirks. So like, what's something you enjoy more than most people? Or what's a hobby or skill that you're known for in your group of friends? And this awesome, fun ice melter activity comes to us from one of our panelists today, Taylor Harrington. I don't want to take credit for how fun it is. So I'll invite Taylor to come up and share her one-liner first as an example, so you guys can see what it looks like before going and doing it in breakout rooms.
Amazing. Hey, thank you so much.
So tell us
I
about
am
yourself.
going to introduce myself today as a live music lover and a board game lover who is recently obsessed with my new outdoor projector.
Ooh, I love it. And I want to hear what you're going to do with that outdoor projector. And
Well, I
can
watched Survivor on it last weekend. So that was a recent thing that I did with it.
Nice. All right. Well, it's everyone else's turn. You're going to go meet a few new friends in a breakout room and share your one-liner. So get that one-liner ready if you're not ready, and each of you will have like 20 to 30 seconds to share it with each other. And then we'll meet you back here in like 2.5 minutes. All right. We are going to officially get this thing started. Thank you for playing along. Welcome. You are at a joyful masterclass for connection professionals. My name is Hansen. I'm a marathoner with a dog that has his own Strava account. You're welcome to follow him. And my favorite color is magenta, which my family was surprised to find out about. I lead community efforts at Covve, including the connection crew here today. And the connection crew, if you're just here for the first time, I like to think of it as like the Olympic training team for connection professionals. It's a community of peers passionate about connection, inspired to take action to flatten the loneliness epidemic curve. We're all working on this mission together and individually in our own professional worlds. And kind of why Covve, why Connection Crew? Covve is the technology powering intentional connection and the company bringing Connection Crew to life. And one way that we do that here on the masterclass or at virtual events are these digital backgrounds. You see behind me, there's a QR code, and there's several other people in the room here today who have these digital backgrounds as well. That's a QR code. You can scan it. If they were physically in person, it would be a physical card and you could tap it. And that allows us to quickly connect without like interrupting each other and whatnot. You can just scan that and stay connected. And it gives you a prompt to actually follow up with that person as well, so you don't forget. So thank you to Giannis and the Covve team for making this possible and believing in me to bring this crew together. Today, how it's going to work or what we're going to take away from today, first is a feeling of connection. We want everyone to feel that glow, that wonderful golden energy at the end of this thing, and go out and spread that energy. Second, we're going to practice 5 activities today, but 3 with panelists that you're going to learn by doing, and then you're going to be able to take that activity away. We'll share it with you after the event and do it in your own communities, your own circles. And then the goal is for you to make at least one new friend today. So we're not talking just like you gathering 10 business cards and 10 new people on LinkedIn. That's great. But the goal is for you to go deeper with one person today. So that way you can feel what that's like to get more intentional and go deeper with someone. And then one lucky soul will walk away a winner of a full CultureCon West registration today. You got to stay to the end. We'll have some instructions in the chat on how to enter that giveaway if you want to come to CultureCon West from November 13th to 14th. Actually, November 12th, we'll be out there that night. And this, my friends, is the actual last available ticket to CultureCon West because it's sold out, but they promised us they would let us give it away here at the Connection Crew Masterclass. So win the final ticket to CultureCon West and join the Connection Crew. There's 12 of us going. It's going to be a ton of fun. And how this format will work today, you're going to be in a breakout room with one other person, and it's going to happen 3 times. So you're going to see the same person. You got a buddy. So don't leave them hanging. If you leave for the last breakout room, that person is left stranded and makes a poor experience, or they have to meet someone new at the end, and they don't really get the full experience of today. Not everyone will feel an instant energetic connection with their buddy, and that's okay. I invite you to notice how this format gives you an opportunity to connect with people you may not normally have met. And then on Zoom. So we need video on for all of those. We need you to keep your video on in the spirit of connection. And if you can't do that, it's okay. We have the recording available for you. And then the learning model that we follow is this like I do, we do, you do format. We're not going to have any PowerPoint slides here. If you've been here before, you know that. But if you're coming for the first time, it's going to go real fast. We're just doing the activities live in front of you, and then you're going to go do it in the breakout room. So that's how we learn. And then there's a 15-minute after party at the end where we just hang out and bask in the good energy of connection. Thank you everyone for being here. Let's invite up our first guest and special co-partner in this experience, but also one of our strategic partners with the upcoming CultureCon West Conference. Please invite Nick Labardino and Zach Blumenfeld and the co-founder and CEO of Covve, Giannis himself, to the floor. Welcome, gang. So good to see you. It feels like maybe just over a year ago we met for the first time, and this is the second masterclass we partnered on, the second conference partner we partnered on. I love getting to know you guys over the year and how our relationship has deepened. And I also love witnessing the relationship between the two of you and the magic that you guys create through that. So first, let's take a moment to introduce yourself real quick. And I invite you to also share your one-liner that we did with the activity earlier. Zach, why don't you go first?
Hey everyone, Zach Blumenfeld, one of the co-founders of CultureCon, here with Nick. My one-liner, I'm an avid sports card collector who loves buffets, and Nick Lombardino.
Welcome, Nick. Welcome, Zach. Nick, you want to take it away?
Yeah, thank you, Hansen. Yes, along with Zach, I am one of the co-founders of CultureCon. My one-liner is that I am a sucker for classic Disney love songs, which may be detected from our lead-up music. And I'm also celebrating that I recently nice work.
Nailed it, Alvaro. Thanks for
Nailed it. Thank you. And I'm celebrating that I recently learned how to bake sourdough bagels.
Oh, nice. I share that love for those classic Disney songs. So we'll have to tune into that someday. Giannis, welcome.
Thank you, Hansen. Hi, everyone. I'm Yannis Gavrilidis. I'm a co-founder at Covve, and I have a big love for barbecuing and 3 kids that actually always help me with it. So I've got 3 kids participating every time.
Nice. Stoked to have all of you here again for the discussion, but we don't want to just talk about CultureCon and what's coming up and how cool it's going to be. It's going to be amazing. We'll give away a ticket. What I want to talk about today is this experiment that we set out on and modeling what it might look like to capture feedback. Actually, we did this together. So what would happen if we brought our community connection crew and the technology that facilitates connection, Covve, to a conference? And Nick and Zach were like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's experiment together. But we want to improve. We did it once. We want to get better. But I would love to maybe start with Giannis. Like, why did we go down this path? I mean, we were doing virtual events. It was going well. Why fly to Madison, Wisconsin from Cyprus?
Yeah. Well, actually, at Covve, we love to empower people to actually build meaningful relationships through technology and through shared expertise. And what we do is we work with many professionals. Many of them are here, like as part of Connection Crew, to actually share insights on how people can build real connection. So when Nick and Zach gave us the opportunity to bring the technology and the experts, everyone together in Madison, we just jumped on it. So I think that was the real excuse.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Nick and Zach, can you share maybe a quick kind of recap of why you partnered and what that meant to you?
Yeah, I can start on that. There's a couple things that kind of jump out for me. The first is intentionality. One of our core values as an organization, as CultureCon, is human connection. So as a conference organizer, we do our best to create kind of the template or the space to have those moments of meaningful connections to happen. We also want to differentiate ourselves. So having the crew with us at CultureCon 24 in Madison, it really helped elevate our commitment to fostering those connections and also doubling down on the value of connection. With CultureCon West in a few weeks, we're really excited to double down on that, have connections experiences baked into pretty much every aspect of the conference. So we're leveling that up even more and just really excited for this partnership to grow with the Connection Crew and Covve.
And I'm super grateful for you guys believing in us and this partnership too, and willing to kind of get our hands dirty and experiment. So one thing we need to do though is make sure we're capturing the feedback and not just rinse and repeat doing the same thing. So I wanted to show people the feedback model that we use with the Connection Crew Masterclass and have done with Nick and Zach now. And it's this what went well and even better if model. So in the ethos of this masterclass, we're not going to just get up and share PowerPoint slides. We're actually going to ask these guys to give us the feedback live and show you how we receive that and what to do with it. So first you start with like what went well and be specific, and then share a future state like even better if it would be even better if, you know, we did XYZ, and again, be specific. And the idea being you don't want to keep complaining about what happened in the past, and you don't want to make it feel like it's about one person that's being attacked here. Let's ideate and move forward together and figure out the ways forward together. And it makes it much more positive and collaborative experience. And it feels great when you actually do the feedback in this way versus kind of feeling icky. Feedback can be sometimes. So let's first start off. Actually, I'll share kind of a quick, like I do. We do this with the masterclass. We've gotten feedback that people were like, what went well? It's amazing. And they had just joyful feelings of connection. People were raving about it. I was like, that's amazing. But they were like, hey, it would be even better if we can actually connect more with more than just one person, because we send you in breakout rooms with one person for the whole hour. And some people are like, man, I'm craving more friends and I want to see my friends and I want to meet more people. I was like, cool, but that's against the ethos of the event because we want to go more, be more intimate with each other and develop a deeper relationship. So what we actually did, the action was we introduced the ice melter in the beginning where you're with 3 or 4 other people in a breakout room real quick. So you get a chance to say hi and see some other friends, meet some other people real quick before we go into kind of the meat and potatoes of the event. And people loved it. We did it last time for the first time. People loved it. So we did it again today. So let's go now to CultureCon and the feedback loop here. So for the sake of time, maybe let's start with like Nick and you sharing with Giannis feedback about the technology and using the Covve app. And then we'll go with Zach sharing feedback with me about the actual crew, the people, the facilitation.
Yeah, thank you, Hansen. So what went well at CultureCon 2024 in Madison? I think one of the best things we did for the overall conference experience was we matched the Covve connection technology with our giving back fund of the conference. So what that meant was every time somebody made a connection through the Covve technology at the event, we then put money towards a philanthropic fund that we then shared with 5 nonprofit partners at the end of the event. So we had just under 1,400 total connections made in the app during the event, which that put us over $5,000 in total donations disseminated after the event. And that's the most we've ever had. So that was a huge accomplishment. And Giannis, I think maybe you had some additional tech metrics that were a part of that figure as well.
Actually, we're very excited because more than 40% of attendees didn't actually just use the badge technology. They downloaded the app to see who they met at the event. So they were very proactive at understanding what connections they did at the event. And more than half of them are actually using the app today to continue staying in touch with those people and building relationships. So that went really, really well.
Amazing. Yeah, so in staying true to the practice, even better if, I think in the future, if there were improvements that could be made to streamlining the registration process for individuals to get access to the app earlier, I think that would help us maximize more adoption right away when the conference gets started to start connecting with one another.
Yeah, and we love that feedback, Nick. And what we're doing for CultureCon West, we're going to have a designated time where everyone's going to set their badge at the same time, so everyone understands how easy that is. And we're also making a few updates in the app to make sure that there's faster connections when people connect, and also that the experience of reviewing those connections and managing them and following up becomes much more intuitive. So we're getting ready for Vegas.
Amazing.
Thank you for modeling, Nick and Yanni. And Zach, we're up. Bring it on. Let's talk about the connection crew, the people being there.
The people, yeah, it was awesome having the crew at CultureCon 24. Having the crew in attendance, especially during the sessions, it helped because they asked really good questions. So they teased out those actionable insights from the speaker, facilitator. That's one of our like goals at CultureCon is like, how can you take what you learned from a presentation, bring it back to your workplace on Monday and start making change? So yeah, they really helped kind of tease out those actionable insights with the questions they asked. It'd be even better if we could ensure this was happening all throughout the conference and every breakout and keynote and workshop. So having crew members attending all the different sessions. I know the crew is really close knit, and if we can get them to expand out into all the sessions, it'll just help the overall experience for the culture geeks in attendance.
I appreciate that. And I noticed the crew is like becoming friends for the first time in person. So we were kind of hanging out with each other a lot and maybe missed some of the sessions. And the action we can take is be more intentional with what the expectations are for the crew and invite them to kind of pick the sessions they're most interested in, kind of have that like 2 crew members per session, making sure they're there and know that it's really valuable for them to engage and ask those questions. So don't shy away from asking the good questions. So,
awesome.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Zach. So excited to partner again. And I'd like to invite our first official panelist. You've already met her once, but we'll do another intro. Please invite Taylor Harrington up to the stage with me. So I know you already shared one-liner. Do you have another one-liner? What are 2 more interesting, uncommon things about you?
I would say I am in the spirit of the BYOB activity we're doing today. I'm a big Kindle girly. I love reading on my Kindle. I have a great chocolate chip cookie recipe, which I will happily share in the chat. It is not my own, but I've made it for so many years and swear by it. And I have a new fish named Pizza, and he's my little work from home buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fear that it's too closely associated to having anchovies on your pizza, though. I don't know.
Ooh, yikes.
Sorry. Tell us a little bit more like what you do too at Groove. I know
Yes.
there's several
Yeah.
Groovers in this room, so they know, but there's another 70 people that don't probably. So
Totally. Yeah. I work at Groove, which is an online co-working community for work from homers. Most folks that are part of it are business owners, freelancers, and people who are working on projects they really care about. So it's a good crew to be around. But yeah, you can on-demand co-work with people from home. And Hansen and I co-work together all the time. So it's lovely that we've never met in person, but I feel very close to him.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things, seeing Taylor's face pop up on my Groove for the day. All right. The group is in for a treat with your activity. I'll let you take it away.
Amazing. Cool. Okay, so we are doing BYOB today, which is bring your own book. So in case you didn't get the memo, it is okay if you don't have a physical book with you. We can also bring one in our minds or a Kindle if you have one nearby and you want to show off the cover of it. But I am bringing this back to activity back from 2021. My last job, I worked with an author named Seth Godin. So definitely in the book world, just professionally and also personally love it. And so when I worked with Seth, we did a lot of online activities and a lot of online experiences. And so I saw the magic of connecting online. And when I was in between Airbnbs back in 2021, hopping from city to city and feeling like I was a bit alone on that journey and didn't have my normal community around me in person, I leaned on virtual events, like hosting my own BYOB events with people that I was friends with on LinkedIn and beyond. And so the BYOBs started back then, and I haven't hosted one in a while. Normally it's a 30-minute activity, so feel free to steal this and use it with your community or even with friends as a way to come back and hang out. But the concept is simple. It really is to bring a book and share why it's made a meaningful impact in your life. And that's it. So you can spend, like I said, you can spend a lot of time talking about this. Usually when I host these, we leave like a big long list of different books to read. It could be a book from your childhood. It could be a book you read last week or something from in between. And I also just want to remind folks that it doesn't need to be the deepest answer in the whole world. It can be something super light and fun. So I'll share what came up from me, and then I'm going to get help from Steve to share his example. So for me, I brought the book A Mango Shaped Space, which is a book I read back in middle school. It is by a woman named Wendy Mass, and I felt very seen by this book because it is about a little girl named Mia who has synesthesia. So she sees color when associated with numbers and letters, as well as sounds. So even the sound of her cat purring, she sees like this mango shade to it. And since a very young age, I've had a very deep relationship to color. I think that it partially, now looking back, has to do with my ADHD and realizing like how much color kept my life together, because of how much I needed to label things in order to remember do things. And so even though I don't have synesthesia myself, I felt very seen back in middle school when I read this book, that someone out there had a really deep relationship to color, more than the average person, and that was just like me. So that's the book that I would bring if I was in your breakout today. Steve, I would love to bring you up for a we do example. Steve, what is one book that has made a big difference for you, and why?
Thanks, Taylor. Hey, everybody. For me, I am in the middle of Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and it is so beautiful, mind-blowing the way she weaves together. And it's like on many levels it's happening, kind of her indigenous wisdom as a person of indigenous ancestry, her scientific knowledge about botany as a professor of botany, and her ability to tell it with the most exquisite poetry as a poet, weaves these strands together that when I got a book about plants, I was like, no, thank you. But then I started reading, I was like, yes, please. So Braiding Sweetgrass.
Oh, I love it. I can already imagine what the chat's going to be like once everyone comes back from those breakouts and shares what these books are. So thanks, Steve, for sharing that. It's one that's been recommended a few times to me, so now it's rising to the top of my list. All right, Hansen, I think we're ready to go into those breakouts. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Wow. Okay, before you drop everything into the chat, because I know people are going to want to share their books, we're going to do something I like to call the chat waterfall. You may have heard of this concept before, where we all press enter at the same time in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and write in whatever that book title is that you shared in the chat, go ahead and put it there, but don't press enter yet. If you do remember the author, you're welcome to include that as well. You know, I think one of the most magical things about books is when we commit to reading however many pages it is when we pick up a book, we're really dedicating a lot of time to putting that author's story into our brain and interacting with it. And then you also can think about all the times that maybe you've talked about a book for years after and how much time has just been thinking about this book. And so I think it's such an interesting question to ask someone around what book has made a profound impact on them, because I think it says a lot about what they value in the world and what they're still bringing with them that many years later too. So like I said, I was hopping around from Airbnbs back in 2021 for like month to month. And the thing that I fell in love with like during that time was reading, because I didn't have nearly as many social plans as I normally do, partially because of the pandemic and partially because I wasn't in my normal space. So leaned on books big time, and the BYOB events were really special for me then. So, all right, let's get ready to press enter in the chat. Make sure that you have it going towards the entire meeting group chat. Go ahead and press enter and let's see those flow on through. Oh my gosh. I always love the waterfall. It's so fun. Hansen, do we have any time to ask someone to come on?
This is terrible because there's too many books I haven't read. And so now the reading list is I was hoping to see a lot of books I had read. I'm like, okay, cool. Though it's not that much homework. But
I get that.
There's way too much homework now. I will shout out Melissa Moody's Breathe by James Nestor, or Breath. That was a life-changing book for me as well, Melissa. So good to see we have that in common.
And if anyone wants to add like a part 2 to what they shared, to also include that why, while we are connecting in the chat, I think there is such value in hearing what that is, as people maybe look in the chat and are like, is this a book that I should check out on Goodreads?
I will take it upon myself, or someone will support me in turning that chat into a spreadsheet or a list that we share afterwards in the resources. Thank you, Taylor. Everyone, please thank Taylor in the chat. Give her a shout out. Share your gratitudes with her. We love to practice our gratitude here. So here's a moment to do that and send Taylor all your gratitude. While we invite up our next, thank you, Taylor. Well, we invite up our next guest, and longtime friend of mine. We crossed paths in the HubSpot and marketing world for many years, and then now we share our paths across again in the connection world. So please invite up Steve Haase, and let's get to our second activity here. Welcome, Steve. And there's Steve's welcome song.
Man. I'm the same height as Michael Jordan, and that's about all we share in common. But I did grow up in Chicago in the 90s. And so hearing that song means that the magic is about to happen, folks. So that's why I chose that as my walk-up song.
I
Thanks for having me, Hansen. Thanks.
Yeah, I love having you. I'm so excited. This is our first time kind of officially collaborating on something connection centered, but we've collaborated in the past on something marketing centered. And so please maybe kick us off with your one-liner. What is something that you wouldn't typically say in an introduction?
I mean, yeah, okay. So what I typically wouldn't say is that there was a period in my life when I practiced celibacy for 5 years. And during that period, I met my wife, who was the woman who's going to become my wife. And we now have 2 kids and live in a home in a small town. So it all looks very traditional, despite my not quite traditional past.
Yeah, we've both had some colorful journeys, lots of interesting experiences.
Mhm.
Stoked to have you here. Thank you for being willing to share kind of one of your favorite connection activities with the group. I will go ahead and just let you have the spotlight and take it away.
Thank you. I want to share about lanterns. Um, I mentioned a lantern that I'm currently celebrating is the launch of my new book. Does that show up there? It's called Superabound. There we go, Superabound. And as you can see, the idea is that if you consider your life, the purpose of your life, as a mountain in the dark and you are hiking up it, each achievement, each milestone towards that bigger vision for your life is like lighting a lantern in the dark. And so, this idea of reframing your goals as lanterns is helpful for what we call getting out of the goal swamp. A lot of people are chasing things that are not necessarily enriching to their inner flame. They're more sort of out of obligation or a sense of duty to parents or past, or even their sense of what people will find impressive. And so a lantern is an ability to kind of break free from, what people often get wrapped around the axle with going after goals. So it's a new way to think about goals. Specifically, it is a distinct achievement that inspires yourself and others and is a microcosm of your larger vision in the world, hence the lanterns on the mountain of your vision. And so we use this metaphor of the lantern because it helps you illuminate your path forward, and it's a reflection of your own inner fire. So that's why the fire metaphor there. And so the activity is to share something that you are working towards, a lantern in your business or in your life, and for the listener to help you clarify it. And this creates connection by sharing something deeply meaningful to you. Again, it doesn't have to be huge and earth-shattering. It can be something small, but it's something that you want to light that is going to enhance your life and reflect your larger vision. So in the I do, we do, you do framework here, I'll share a lantern of mine, which is wanting to sell 1,000 copies of the book. We are on our way, but there's still a lot of terrain to cover to get to that milestone. And the question is, why does it matter? How is it a microcosm of my larger vision and life? And it's because I want to help people realize the life the universe is dreaming for them. Getting our book into as many hands as possible is one way to do that. And yeah, that's my lantern experience. So for we do, who's my partner? Is it Hansen?
I am Ashley.
It's Ashley.
Yes.
Ashley, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So what is a lantern in your life or your business?
Well, I don't think they knew this when they picked me, but it's also a book. I actually wrote a book to help people heal in grief. So it's like a trauma-informed step-by-step guide on surviving a significant loss. And we just launched the Kickstarter last Wednesday. My lantern is to raise $25,000 by November 19th. And we just launched Wednesday and we're already halfway there. So that feels really good.
That's awesome. And how is that lantern an expression of your larger vision?
So similarly, and I don't know if anyone else is is feeling this, but every time you say the lantern on the mountain, I picture the Lord of the Rings, like, lights that light on all the mountains. It's like so exciting. But for me, this lantern is very much a vision forward of, to your point, helping as many people. So if I can, get this into production, get so many copies in people's hands, they'll, see the impact and hopefully will share it and it will ripple forward. And so, yeah, the other piece is, having this printed production will help enable the audiobook, and the Kindle, ebook option as well.
Beautiful. So when you go out into the breakout groups yourself, as the listener, just respond authentically, be there to fan the flames of the person that you're listening to. This is a special moment to hear about someone's inner fire, about what is getting them going for the day, for their life, and for their work. So be receptive, be responsive, and to help them clarify, you can use those two questions. What is it? Why does it matter to you? So welcome back, everybody. I hope you found that an inspiring, connecting activity. I encourage you to use that in your businesses, in any situation where you're talking about goals, but you want to bring more soul to it. That's really the purpose of that metaphor, is to help people connect where they're going with why it matters to them. Like Simon Sinek says, start with why. It never gets old to ask the why, to bring people back to that top of the mountain vision. So lanterns will help you do that. I would love to hear what you shared, what your lantern is. Go ahead and put that in the chat, and we'll do the chat waterfall on what people's lanterns were. Customer education, awesome. Personal
styling, Kristen. I gotta meet you and get to know about these personal styling skills.
Yeah, brilliant. So one last thought on lanterns, kind of similar to SMART goals. As clear as you can be with, this is when I will know it is lit, right? The metaphor really holds up. It's like when you light it, you can see the light. You can see the flame has gone from, you're holding it to it's lit in front of you. So being able to point to, yes, it is lit. Like, the lantern is to publish the book. Here it is. It's done. The lantern is to sell 1,000 copies. Here it is. It's done. Giannis shared, I'm not allowed to share what people share. Anyway, he shared the one that was very specific. I'm like, yes, there it is. So I encourage you to use the specificity to help you be really clear on the light that you want to bring with your lantern.
Thank you so much, Steve. Let's give Steve a virtual round of applause and send him some gratitude in the chat. I hope you're all feeling a little bit of that flame now and ready to go a little bit deeper with our next panelist, Ashley Jones. Let's welcome to the stage. Welcome, Ashley. The third and definitely not the least, the way we run these events is like, let's go deeper each one. So I gave Ashley the challenge. I said, hey, do you think you can be the last one and take us deep? And she's like, I got this. So I'm so stoked to have you here. I'm stoked for our friendship to have grown over the last year, and we finally got to meet in person. And I can't wait to hang out again in Vegas shortly. But please, maybe quickly, for those that don't know you, introduce yourself and share your one-liner. What are 2 to 3 things that you wouldn't typically say in an introduction?
Yes, I'm so honored to be here today. I am the founder and executive director of Memento Foundation, which is a nonprofit on a mission to help people heal in grief. And you laugh about, or you brought up about going deep. Like, that is something that like all of my friends just know about me. It's like, oh yeah, Ashley doesn't do surface conversation. Like, if she shows up, she's gonna ask deep questions. And my one-liner is, I just am a super passionate plant mom and animal lover. My daughter died from a terminal illness, which is part of what led me to start the nonprofit. And so, yeah, that's just jumping into the deep end there.
On that note, take it away. I'm excited for the group to do this with you.
Yeah, awesome. So with the Connection Crew, right? Like, our whole purpose here is connection. And so much of the time in grief and in trauma, we disconnect from ourselves and each other. And so I want to create space right now because our society does not do a good job of allowing us to stay connected with loved ones who have passed away, or even mentors or teachers or friends or role models that you've learned from who are no longer living. And so I just want you to think of someone that you've lost who's helped shape who you are today. Again, it can be a loved one, it can be a mentor or a teacher, friend, role model, or someone else altogether who's no longer here today. And I would love for each of you just to share who they are to you and answer the question, what's a value, quality, or piece of wisdom that you've gained from them that influences the way you show up in the world? So, and in the tradition of I do, I want to just share my Aunt Theresa with you. My Aunt Theresa died of cancer, but she was a midwife. She was an incredibly giving, kind, compassionate person, and always was so full of love. Like, she was the person I could count on for true unconditional love, like at any time in my life. And I knew she always would support me no matter what. And I just loved her so much. And I try and bring that same love and kindness to the world that I saw her model in my life. And so, yeah, that is mine. And I think Hansen, or no, Taylor, are you coming up with me to share
I
this
am.
together?
Hi.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
So yeah, I would love to know someone in your life who's influenced who you are, who they are to you, and if you would share what it is that you carry with you today.
Amazing. So I thought of my grandma Rose, who I'm Taylor Rose. That's my middle name. So I have her name, but I was really, really young when she passed. And I think that she has impacted me in so many ways into the person that I've become. But I think that the one thing that's really concrete is she really believed in the ritual of having dinner together as a family. And so my dad grew up in a big family, and Sunday dinner was a non-negotiable, that they would all gather, no excuses. You couldn't miss Sunday dinner. So when my parents met and became parents, having dinner together as a family, at least 3, if not 4 nights a week, every single time, like, we would wait for my dad to even come home from work late to make sure that all 6 of us, me and my 3 brothers, all sat down and had meaningful conversations around the dinner table. And that ritual came from Grandma Rose. And I think it's really impacted how I feel safe to ask questions and be curious and share stories, because I was able to do that in the safety of around the dinner table with my family. So yeah, shout out to Grandma Rose.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's beautiful. And just so you know, to anyone who's going into your breakout rooms, like, I know this can be emotional, depending on where you are in your life and what season and how recent the loss was. And so for those holding space for others, like, something that we always say in our nonprofit is feeling is healing, and tears are always welcome, because that is one of the languages of your soul and in your heart. And so, if someone does choke up, don't feel the need to apologize. There's nothing wrong with crying. And instead, you can just say, thank you for holding space for me to feel these things, right? Because we want to honor our connection to our loved ones. That's part of the beauty of this world and this mystery that is life, is we are all connected, even through the generations, as Taylor just shared with her grandma Rose. So I'm so excited for you to break out, explore this deeper connection, and I will see you after the breakout room. Thank you so much for joining me in that. I hope you guys had deep and meaningful conversations. And if you would like to share your person with the rest of us, we'll do another waterfall effect here in the chat. So go ahead and type it in, but don't submit yet, of who your person is, their relationship to you, and what you carry with you, or how they influenced your life. And obviously, in the chat, you can try and keep it concise. I know that might be a little challenging, but for me, I'll put my Aunt Theresa, loving kindness to everyone I cross paths with. So, are we ready to do the tech waterfall? Let's go. Oh, this is so awesome. I have chills.
Oh man.
So beautiful. Okay. Another fact about me is like I tear up whenever I feel things. And so I'm like tearing up now. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, y'all. This is
Thank
really,
you. Yeah,
really
thank you
awesome.
everyone for honoring those people here and sharing that. Really amazing to see. Thank you, Ashley. I didn't know I needed that. But super grateful. I'm always like sometimes worried I don't get to experience the full experience that attendees do because I'm hosting. And I really try to be intentional with like practicing it and learning as well with everyone. And I'm so grateful I did. So thank you. Everyone, please thank Ashley for with us and send your gratitude Ashley's way. Give her a shout out, round of applause. And yes, thank you, Ashley. And thank you for being willing and brave to like take us a little bit deeper with each other. Thank you everyone for being willing to do that with your breakout room buddy. That is the wrap for the final activity. Now we go into the official giveaway to CultureCon West, the final ticket. I think there's like a pretty high value for it on the black market right now. Okay, so it's the spinning wheel. How do we do it? Did you already do it? Are you gonna spin it in front of us?
Yes, let's do this.
There's all the
So
entrance.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Who's coming with us? So this is crazy that it's the last ticket to CultureCon West. Nick, Zach, thank you so much for opening this up for the community. Alina, yes. So stoked you can come. Oh man. Are you here? Are you in the room still?
I'm here. Yeah.
Yes, there she is.
In my sweatshirt because I got cold. Apologies. I'm very casual looking. Hi, everyone. Wow. I'm really excited.
None of our agreements were about dress code. You really won. You really won. So
wow. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you. Well, that's a wrap for us officially today, folks. We are gonna kind of sign off and say our goodbye here to anyone who can't stay for the extra 15 minutes. Again, I will hang out for 15 and we welcome you. And we are gonna do the group picture in the after party. So if you want to be a part of the group picture, that'll happen pretty quickly in the after party. But folks, thank you so much for coming. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the new friends that I've met for the first time and seen for the first time. I love seeing your faces here on video. I look forward to getting to know you more one-on-one. And then also so many returning friends. Shout out to the Connection crew members who keep coming back and then they give back as panelists and they're helping share their expertise. And I just love learning from them and being together. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, let's kind of say our goodbyes and then and thank the panelists. If you have to leave, send one last gratitude, and then let's move on to the after party. Hey everyone, now I see your faces. Oh my gosh. All right, so many friends and new friends, but let's how was it? How do you guys feel? Eleanor, you want to kick us off? How are you doing? Yeah, so unmute.
Yeah, there we go. That took way too long. You'd think I've practiced at this by now. Happy to kick us off. I'm doing great. I was honestly like really low energy before this. And I was like, I just have to get there. And I did. And I'm so grateful. So thank you all for being here.
Grateful you're here. I often feel that too. It's like the stress of life and stuff. We have our returning, our perfect attendance, Kevin Monroe. How does this compare, Kevin? How do we do?
Oh, Hansen, this was awesome. And gosh, it's interesting to ride the wave of emotional roller coaster. And Ashley, that last activity was amazing. And it was so rich for me because Friday was my mother's birthday. She's been gone 16 years. And it was like 2 hours in the morning. And all of a sudden I realized, like, gosh, my mom would have been 100 today were she still here. So getting to celebrate that today and reflect on her was really beautiful, Ashley. Thank you.
I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing that.
And Dr. Jen, welcome back. And I know we aren't always perfect here with breakout rooms. That's why we have our agreements and video on and things. So not everyone has a good experience. We hope they do, but it's like 99%. But Jen, unfortunately, the both times she's come in the past has not had a nice experience. So how was it this time?
It was great. It was really nice. And I was with Kevin. So it was really nice to have a partner who was there, first of all. That was great. And yeah, it was really all three of the shares were just very different, like in emotional places of where we went. So I really appreciated the activities and the breadth of human emotions we got to share with each other and experience. So thank you.
I'm glad you got paired up with Kevin. I may have played a part in that. Okay, we are officially under the number that we can get into one screenshot, Hennessis. So maybe now we can do it because I was waiting. We were above the capacity before. So
Sounds good. Let's take the picture.
all right, you guys ready for the photo? You're gonna, on the count of, maybe Hennessis will count to 3 for us. So when she does that, let's do our biggest like golden connection energy face, whatever that means to you and looks like to you.
Awesome. Sounds good. So 3, 2, 1. Let's take another one just in case.
Just in case.
3, 2, 1. Let me move this raise hand. Cool. 3, 2, 1. Go. Awesome. Yeah.
So many friends here. Someone that's new. Let's see, first timer. Any first timers in the room? Would love to hear from you and how it went. And
Hey, Hansen, can you hear me?
Yes, Jeremy, welcome.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know what to say, just that I have fallen in love with Covve. This thing is incredible. My partner, is in Sweden, and she was incredible. So just wanted to say thank you guys.
Oh, thanks, Jeremy. So grateful for you. Thank you for coming here. Christy, I think your hand's up, so I'll go for it.
Even though I don't feel new at all, I feel like I've been with this group forever, because this is my tribe, my people, and because Hansen, we've had such immediate connection when we've been at Culture Summit and some other gatherings. But this was the first time I could finally attend this, and this was amazing. I am like feeling electrified and just so overjoyed to have found another community, and especially to see the partnership with Zach and Nick, because those are two others that when I talk about the world's best culture conference and just two amazing human beings. So neat to see that this collaboration and for me to get to be a part of Culture Crew in Vegas, etc. But I would just say, each of the connection times were incredibly rich. Immediately, you took us there with the sort of the banquet table and the just essence. All of you, from the moment, Hansen, there was so much design in this experience. It was so clear. There was so much intentional design, which is also why I love CultureCon and CultureCon West. And this is maybe oversharing or whatever, but I feel like the combination of the deep connection, the authenticity, the creative ideating, and other connection activities to spark my thinking, I was having a total ideagasm, just so many ideas. I'm an ideator, and it was orgasmic to be with all of you, and to know that I'm going to have to figure out a way to not have these sessions be in conflict with any other commitments. I'll be back.
I love to hear that, and so glad to finally have you here at the masterclass. As you mentioned, we've been friends for over a year now, but so good to see you here. And something that you use the word design, something that I'm actually excited to celebrate a little bit that I didn't tell anyone, but I snuck into my LinkedIn profile. I've been pivoting my career away from my old marketing and RevOps career, and I didn't know what to call myself. But I officially used the word designer, connection designer, as in my tagline now.
Nice.
I'm not a community manager, but what do? I don't know, but a connection designer felt right. So thank you, Christy.
Yeah, and to add to that, you're clearly an experienced designer. So yes, with connection being your superpower, but just an experienced designer as well. It's so evident.
Thank you. Brian, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. This experience was wonderful. With everything that's been going on in my life lately, this was exactly what I needed today. Um, it got me, I also was like, oh man, I'm so tired. I don't know if I can do this. And then I was here and it was exactly right. And I have been craving connection
Mhm.
for a long time. Moved out here 4 years ago in the middle of the pandemic and 90 minutes away from any real civilization. So this experience has been just really fulfilling, and I can't wait to come to CultureCon. Like, truly cannot wait to be at CultureCon West. I'm so blessed to be a scholarship recipient. Thank you so much to the CultureCon team. So ready to be
Stoked we're
there.
gonna get to meet you in person.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled.
Right on. Welcome, Brian. You're welcome here, man. Thank you for being here. And Danae, welcome.
Hi, it's good to see everybody. Hansen, it's so nice to see you. Hansen and I had a lovely chat a few months ago, and I had not been able to join a Connection Crew live yet, but I've been appreciating the recordings. I'm a leadership development consultant and coach. I'm also an experienced designer, and I love creating spaces where individuals can, have a meaningful conversation with someone, just a meaningful interaction, whether it's deep and meaningful or, relatively just fun and light. I think I'm somebody who I'm realizing more and more defines myself through my relationships with other people. And so to be in the space of others who see the importance of connection and social interaction is really lovely. I get a little bit lonely working from home and doing subcontract work and solopreneur work and being too much in my head all the times. And so I really enjoy the opportunity to share space with other beings. Thank you.
Thank you, Danae. So good to see you here. And Camila, you're up next. I want to get grabs.
Yes.
How
And I
was it
think
for
my
you,
share
Camila?
will be similar to what Dinesh just shared. Began my entrepreneurial journey after being in large corporations about 6, 7 months ago now, and it has been different. I'm also in leadership development and I do run workshops. So I do see people, I do talk to people, but it's very different to kind of be on a call where all cameras are on. That's incredible. Starting conversations with deeper shares. And as an entrepreneur, I get like so many hits every day that say, okay, you don't even need to do anything. The AI is going to do everything for you. You don't even need to show up your face anymore because all that AI, and I love artificial intelligence, but it's so awesome to actually see that there's another movement, right? So, okay, we get it. We have AI and let's kind of leverage it for our advantage, but let's not forget the power of human connection. And I think this is like so much needed. So first thing I thought about, like when I joined, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what humanity needs now after we advanced so much in technology, which is again incredibly helpful, but we do need to make sure that we don't lose what's so innate in us within us. So that's what I felt being part of this group. So I truly appreciate the experience.
It's so good to see you here after meeting face to face at Culture Summit. And I've told a lot of people about you because at Culture Summit they had some fun little like postcards that you can draw on the tables. A great idea for conferences. And Camila drew me this beautiful drawing, but then as we were leaving, she had written me a really nice card on the back and handed it to me, and I just thought was like such a good example of someone who like connection is their superpower and they're just taking a moment to be thoughtful about who they met and kind of give them that gift. And I'm super grateful for you, Camila. And Danae, 10 out of 10. That's pretty good review. You might have to put that on your website. 10 out of 10 breakout room, buddy. Oh, thank you so much for being here, everyone. Anyone else before we officially wrap that wanted to share about their experience or how just saying hello to the group and who you are? Bailey, I didn't hear from you. I heard from you in the chat a lot, but grateful for your chat.
Priscilla's got
one taker.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. And it's Priscilla, right?
Yeah, it's Priscilla. Hi. Yeah, this is actually my first time, and wow, what a session. And the music, like, where's the idea from? Like, that is super cool. I loved it. I love how I connected with, I think it's Iroh. She was super cool, and it felt more human than screen. So, yeah, I've been looking for such a community where I can really connect because I've been pulled back a lot of times and I've lost myself in a screen instead of interacting with people. So I thought this is going to be the first step, and I joined like Toastmasters, so I'm hoping to develop more, but I would love to grow as well and be good at talking to people in person, not only on screens. So this is the first step. This is me trying to engage with people, talk, be in communities, and hopefully I can talk to people in person and stop being introverted. So yeah, it was amazing. It was cool. Whenever you send out like invites for this, please don't forget me. Like ping me 20 times if you have to, because I loved every activity, every minute of it. And yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Priscilla. That means a lot hearing that. And you are welcome here, and we are excited to have you here. And don't discredit your introversion. Let's love that too. Any fellow introverts in the room? Hand raise. All right, there's a few. You're not alone. And the introverts, we've heard feedback, right? The format we use with one person rather than a breakout room with multiple people, and doing that 3 times with the same person is something that we've been intentional about and hopefully helpful, and less energetically draining for an introvert. Well, team. Oh, Bailey, I had asked you how it went, and then I didn't hear.
It was spectacular as usual. I'm trying to bring everybody I know because it's such a valuable use of your time, which these are not always, these being virtual connection events and definitely in-person connection events. So yeah, this was spectacular. They're always on my calendar from here on out. I've met so many amazing people. I had one person already as a guest on my podcast last month, Kenneth. So yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you
And
for
just like Bailey kind of mentioned, she's inviting people she knows. That's how people get here, is through an invitation. So if you want to see your friends, your peers in this room, please extend the invite. The next one's on December 12th. It's already available to sign up for and save on your calendar so you don't miss it. But on that note, we will do our traditional high five goodbye. So on the count of 3, we all high five your monitor like we're high fiving each other, and then we'll exit. So we're all done at the same time. Thank you again for being here. You guys are amazing. Thank you to Steve and Taylor and Ashley and Nick and Zach for being a part of this one and co-creating this with me, and the Nerea Tech team and Covve for making this possible. 1, 2, 3.